Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Seth. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing / rating the movie, The Invite. Now this movie is directed by Olivia Wilde, and also stars Olivia Wilde as Angela, Seth Rogen as Joe, Penelope Cruz as Penina, and Edward Norton as Hawk. And this movie is your adult comedy that has some deeper meanings throughout the movie, As I say, it does have some comedic moments, even some awkward, where you really cringe and feel the secondhand embarrassment because we've all been in those situations, or at least been around people that have been in that situation, so you really, in those awkward moments, feel very relatable and stuff like that, Now this movie is getting some buzz in the community around it, because it's getting a lot of great reviews, and even getting some buzz of, hey, could this be Oscar worthy for next year's Oscars? Now that I've seen this movie, I really do like the movie because of the deeper meaning that is trying to sway through this movie, and also too, the actors in this movie just really do a great job. Now let's get to the review side of it. Now this movie is really set around these four actors, as I said, We have Joe, we have Angela, we have Hawk, we've got Penina, And it's really set in one location too, which is something I really like, Just, I guess, when you really get to have such a small group in really just one location, you really get to know the location and all the characters around it, Now there are some limitations, of course, because you are in just one spot and with just a small cast of characters, but at the same time too, you get to have the creative, I guess, liberties of really getting to know the location, the people and the characters you are watching, and just all that. Now that does not mean that if you have a small group in only one location that the movie's going to be great. No, because sometimes that is not great. But in this movie, they do it so well, and I just really liked how they used their limitations, Now, Joe and Angela are the struggling couple, and throughout this movie you really get to see that they're just really snappy and just miserable and really just mean to each other. So one night, they bring over their neighbors, Penina and Hawk. And Penina and Hawk are like the exact opposite of Joe and Angela. They're very, centered in themselves, and they know who they are, and they really just love each other. They're very cool, calm, and collective, And throughout this movie, you'll get to see that Joe and Angela try to be that, but they kind of fail and stuff like that. Because Joe really is just the miserable, grumpy person that he is, And Angela is the anxious, trying to be cool and artistic, but is trying way too hard. And then you have Penina and Hawk. And Penina and Hawk, as I said, are very centered in themselves. They know who they are, cool, calm, collective. And Penina really is just that cool girl that Angela's trying to be, And it's just great to see, those two, just try to, I guess, be themselves, and stuff like that. And throughout this movie, as I said, they invite them over to really get to know each other and stuff like that. And as the movie progresses, it gets into some other things, and you really get to know about all the characters and their life stories, Yeah. I will admit that this movie does, now this might just be my experience I had, it felt more dimmer light-wise, like on the cinematography, and I think the reason they were trying to even do that too was to maybe show the, I guess, the deeper meanings of it. Now, if other people had different experiences, that's perfectly okay. That was just my experience and my thought on the cinematography-wise too. But also, too, this movie overall is just a great movie. It really is for like adult comedy. Now, when I watched the trailer, I kind of expected what I was gonna get myself into, and now that I've seen the movie, I was kind of right, which, hats off to me, I guess. I knew from the start, from just really diving into the trailer, But overall, this movie was a good movie. I do see it getting some buzz around the circle. Now, do I think it will stick around for the Oscars? Who knows, maybe, I don't know what's going to get in or not, during that time. But this movie, I do think is going to do very well with the group or the people that is trying to get the people to come to see the movie, the people that it's attracting, of course. Now my rating for this movie would be a 4 out of 5. You know, as I say, great actors, you know, adult comedy with some deeper meanings, which I did like the deeper meanings that this movie was trying to persuade. But yeah, overall, great time. That is my movie, that's my review and rating on it. Thank you for watching as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and goodbye!